Just a couple of hours away from the start of 2022. But before we ring in the new year, we got to look back at the year that was 2021. It wasn't all bad.
Yeah, a lot happened in 2021. And on your side's Katie Jeffries taking us back to the big moments of the year here on the First Coast and how they could impact our new year.
A lot has happened in our little slice of the world in 365 days. Let's look at some of the headlines. Downtown may start looking a little different. In October, the City Council voted unanimously in favor of the Shipyards project, the $400 million riverfront development. The plan includes a Four Seasons hotel, new Jags Performance Center, and a new home for Mosh. Work is set to begin in 2022. The completion date, though, isn't until the end of 2025. The City Council also voted in May to double the gas tax for the next 30 years to fund more than $900 million in road, transit, and drainage projects. That starts on January 1st, with much of the money going towards JTA's Skyway to U2C conversion, moving the rail system to autonomous vehicles and expanding it to surrounding neighborhoods.
He did not put what he believed to be our best interest first, and that's what I think people respect the most. I hope that's how people remember him.
Speaking of City Council, former Mayor and City Council President Tommy Hazouri died in September at the age of 76. After a life of nearly 50 years as a public servant. Sadly, crime did fill the headlines as well. In May, the First Coast was in shock by the horrific killing of 13-year-old Tristan Bailey in St. Johns County.
There's nothing even nearly remote being an accident.
Stabbed more than 100 times, a classmate, 14-year-old Aiden Fucci, was arrested for the crime. The community grieved and remembered Tristan's life that ended far too soon.
She's amazing and she didn't deserve this at all.
The First Coast also held its breath waiting for the capture of Patrick McDowell. Accused of shooting and killing Nassau County Deputy Joshua Moyers, McDowell hid in the woods off of 301 for days.
He came out of the bathrooms, had him get down on the ground and crawl. He crawled like a baby, like the coward he is.
Hundreds showed up for the search and stayed to mourn the loss of Deputy Moyers and honor his life and sacrifice. There was some positive news in crime this year. Overall, Jacksonville's homicide rate for 2021 is down compared to 2020. And the cold case unit at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office solved a 35-year-old cold case, the 1985 Christmas Eve murder of Leslie McCrae. DNA led detectives to David Nelson Austin, who was arrested for murder and will be extradited back to Jacksonville to face trial. The courts were also busy in 2021 in a case that gained international attention. Gregory and Travis McMichael and William Roddy Bryan faced a trial in the death of Ahmaud Arbery. The men claimed self-defense. The case drew crowds outside the courthouse and put a spotlight on Glenn County.
Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Travis McMichael, guilty.
The jury found the men guilty on multiple counts. As one trial ended, another began. A trial years in the making. Kimberly Kessler faced a jury in the death of Jolene Cummings in 2018. The Yulee hairstylist and mother of three's body has never been found. It is a case full of twists and turns, and after repeated outbursts, Kessler had to watch the trial remotely. It only took the jury 90 minutes to find Kessler guilty of first-degree murder. In Jacksonville, a surprising move by an appellate court. Former U.S. Representative Kareem Brown's fraud convictions were overturned. The 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals says the judge's decision to remove a juror who said the Holy Spirit told him she was innocent invalidated the trial's result. She is set to be retried in February.
It doesn't make any sense that they looked at that and was like, this is okay, but this is not.
St. Johns County found itself in the spotlight after Bartram Trail High School altered yearbook photos of female students, and that sparked a debate on dress code policy, with some students and parents saying it unfairly targeted girls.
Why did the school look at my yearbook photo and see something sexual that should be publicly shamed instead of a student with a perfect GPA and a perfect conduct record?
With international backlash, the school and school district apologized. Workshops were held, and a new dress code was approved with more gender-neutral policies. Speaking of schools, the great mask debate loomed over schools as coronavirus surged in August, just as schools began. Whether or not students should wear masks became a contentious issue, and policies varied depending on the district, even pitting some school boards in Florida, like Duval, against the governor.
I think as a board, we want to do everything that we can to help keep kids in our community healthy and safe.
Ultimately, I think that it's up to people's individual decisions to make, if you want to wear a mask.
In October, Duval schools lifted its mask requirement after COVID cases began to dip in Jacksonville. But the impact COVID-19 continues to have can't be understated. In late July, the Delta variant of COVID moved like wildfire through the First Coast. Hospitals saw a surge of patients in August, the most we've seen yet during the pandemic.
Opening up nooks and crannies, if you will, in the emergency rooms to find places to see patients.
Hospitals hit capacity, patients were being placed in overflow areas, conference rooms, break rooms, and our healthcare workers were pushed to the limits to save lives. Sadly, we lost many loved ones this year, including multiple first responders. There are happy stories, though. Families reunited and patients able to go back home with the ones they love.